the time of enslavement, darkness, and violence, they risked their young lives. On their shoulders, they were carrying Poland.
Ci wszyscy oficerowie, którzy tam byli,
all those officers there were trained in hand-to-hand combat, karate. We all started practicing karate. Even the regimental chaplain was assigned to karate lessons. All this karate idea was a mixed bag. But we also had bayonets. There were straw dummies, and we were supposed to throw those bayonets 20 meters to hit the head or the neck. Actually, it was of no use to us, fortunately. But we were incredibly well trained. The headquarters was just next door, 100, maybe 150 meters away. The staff sergeant was in poor health. He was in the brig and then in the gulag. He was sick with jaundice and barely walked, even with a cane. He came to us once a week. "Well, boys, how do you feel, my children?" This is how he addressed us. And he kept saying, "You are my guards." We lived through a lot and tried to be outstanding soldiers. Admittedly, we were kids, but we weren't lacking dedication. Then we found out that some of us were told things at different times. After a few months, even before he left. What was our mission? We were to protect the headquarters, at any cost. These officers would tell us, "Whoever wants can leave, but we will protect the headquarters or die if there is a clash." He said, "You guys will be the first ones to defend, like those Japanese kamikazes. We are there to defend our post." The training all went through. We were a unique battalion. We had draconian discipline, but we trained. However, this caused our regiment to lose 99 men in the entire Italian campaign since leaving the Soviet Union.
59 dokładnie osób. Któregoś dnia przyszła wiadomość, że wyjeżdżamy.
One day came the news that we were departing. We packed up. There was a train. I can't remember the name of the port on the Caspian Sea. We arrived and got on Russian ships, seemingly steamships, but dirty and smelly. We sailed on this Caspian Sea to Pahlavi. Now the city is called differently. That's where we ended up. Naturally, we left the weapons in Russia. We arrived only in our uniforms, and there were tents prepared for us, made of reed sheets, built quite large, 2.5 meters in size. Each had a bed and a makeshift table. All this was on compacted sand. This was a month on the Caspian Sea. There were many American and English doctors. They examined us. Injections, typhoid, malaria, especially malaria, prevailed there. For a month, we did nothing, just ate and went through tests. We took walks and we swam. After a month, we were ordered to move on. Buses from Tehran have arrived. From our location, Tehran was not far away. The Persians have arrived. The whole regiment was packed into these buses, 500 men. And through those mountains, we rode majestically. I looked at the side of the road and saw a kilometer-long abyss.
Ja patrzyłem tu, kończy się, a tam przepaść, kilometr czy inny. Także jechaliśmy dość długo i zatrzymaliśmy.
We drove for quite a long time and stopped in the first town. It was a city near Baghdad. That's where we stopped. On the second day, there were neatly prepared tents. Already, it was pleasant. Everything was prepared for us. We had food, baths, and showers right away. And on the second or third day, we saw the Poles arrive. But when we looked closer, we saw they had different banners because we didn't have any banners yet. We just came as these former soldiers of this regiment of Battalion S. It turned out to be a regiment of Carpathian soldiers who fought at Tobruk. They were already trained on the equipment we would get in the future. They were more or less identical American armored vehicles. They taught us and showed us what would await us. We got acquainted. They stayed for a week and then went back. They had the assignment to go to Palestine. There were some exercises there. We were equipped with weapons, given pistols with holsters worn on suspenders to be worn on the left or right calf. We were also given familiar Morris three-seater armored vehicles. The third soldier was either a platoon leader or another. I became a driver right away. We also received such tracked light equipment for other army units. And we got anti-tank guns and 6-pounders, which later became famous in the Battle of Al Alamein.
Które się potem okazało wsławiły w bitwie pod El Alamein. Przeniesieni zostaliśmy do miasta Kirkuk.
We moved to the city of Kirkuk. When we arrived, the camp was already prepared for us. The next day, we learned that nearby, maybe closer to Kirkuk, was our transport company, which would carry heavy ammunition for cannons in the future. Heavy bullets. Well, it doesn't matter. We learned that a baby bear is being raised by this company's soldiers. We already knew there was a small bear in Persia. Polish women had to go to India with their children because there were more than 10,000 orphans. Mothers were dying due to leaving their own food rations for their children. However, the children survived and the mothers died. Well, we went there to visit this bear. The soldier was already tired. He showed us a trench 2 or more meters deep in the sand. The bottom was quadrangular, covered with sheets and a plaited mat, some blankets in the corner, and a bowl of water. A bear was asleep in there. The bear was about 1 meter tall, maybe a little smaller. Tiny bear. They bottle-fed him. He frolicked, but he seemed tame. The next time I saw this bear was in Italy, but by then he was 2 meters 20 centimeters. Seemingly a wild animal, and so tame from a young age. He never harmed anyone. Then he was given to the zoo because no one was returning to Poland. He heard Polish spoken around him. As he grew up, he liked beer best. He was given the rank of corporal. He was on the records of a transport company because animals could not be transported from Persia to Iraq. So they named him Corporal Wojtek. The English knew nothing of him. He received pay and food. He was getting his rations. His caregivers gave him what he liked. So he wanted beer and cigarettes. He put tobacco in his mouth and chewed it himself, probably as a drug. Anyway, it was a small bear, so joyful. We'd meet a couple of times along the way. Here in Poland, they write fantastic stories about this bear. So why was this entire corps at Monte Cassino? This one bear was enough. He would have chased all those Germans away.
Wystarczył ten 1 miesiąc, by tych Niemców wszystkich przegonił.
Young, free, idealistic. Thanks to them, we live in Poland, in a free Poland, out of gratitude for Poland. Subsidized by the Polish National Foundation.